What's up YouTube, Duel here from Zephyr Wargames, and today I'm bringing you commentary from a live duel at Locals involving Silver on the top with Kashtria and Charlie on the bottom with DarkWorlds Dangers. Now, as a disclaimer, Charlie is playing 3 structured decks. He hasn't really added much more to it, and he's also going to be playing this physically for the first time. So you see that Charlie on the dice roll got to go first, activates Gate of the Dark World, and is responded with a D-shifter. So straight away, that is going to knock all of Charlie's plays out, as you'll see it progress. You can also see in Silver's hand that he is rocking Evenly Matched in the main deck. We're going to activate Drag Down to the Grave. Vil Mothman, Rainbow, and Genta, which are actually 3 incredibly powerful cards. And to be fair, Charlie would have had a very strong combo because he would have been able to go discard Genta to search out a second gate, activate the first gate's effect to banish the Genta, send the Rainbow. Rainbow searches him out either Silver or Greffa. Activate the second gate. He could make a play that way if he wanted to. It'd also revive the Genta. Bounce the Genta back and everything like that. So Charlie's drawn 1 off of Drag Down, and so has Silver. So he's got Evenly Matched Side Beast, Bysteel Magnamute, and what looks like a Fenrir and Instant Contact. Charlie has 1 set, and sadly his Rainbow is banished. So this is all if buts and buttercups if they didn't have D-shifter. So we're going to special summon out Fenrir. Fenrir is going to attempt to use his effect, and that is going to be responded with by Skill Drain, costing Charlie 1,000 life points. So cut that back down to 7,000 life points for Charlie's Dark World deck. Silver still has an incredibly powerful hand at this point. If he wanted to, he could normal summon Side Beast, but that wouldn't really go anywhere. He could activate Instant Contact. It would give him a monster from the extra deck, but then all he'd be doing is upgrading the Fenrir to a stronger monster. It looks like he's just going to attack directly with the Fenrir, taking Charlie down to 4,600 life points and continuing to move from this point on. Now, I don't know if there's no point in waiting for the shifter to resolve. I mean, I would probably activate the Magnamute and still summon that down. That's an additional 2,400 damage. But it's going to go to Charlie's turn. He's going to reveal Mothman and his other 2 remaining cards. One that he drew for turn, and the other one is a Genta. So that's interesting. I probably would have activated the Genta first, just to put it into the graveyard. It looks like Mothman was hit, so both players are going to draw 1 and discard 1. And we are getting rid of the Side Beast, and we got rid of a second Skill Drain. He's going to activate DarkWorlds Dealings, which was the card he drew for turn. So draw 1, and then both players discard a card. And you see that Silver's hand is really starting to take decent shape here. Charlie's trying to do as much as he can with his graveyard now online. It looks like he discarded a Silver, or at least I believe it's a Silver, maybe even a Genta. Might have been the Genta, let's have a look. It was... I'm just waiting for Charlie to kind of activate it. If it was a Genta, you'd probably be activating Gate to kind of banish it, and then ditch a Fiend and draw a card. So then that's where you're going to get the maximum amount of advantage off of it as well. Silver's just looking for his extra deck, trying to figure out what rank 7 he can go into. Evenly is obviously a dead card at that point. His other Kashtria are pretty much dead as well, because without Birth, they're not really doing anything. And Charlie needs to get a monster on the board. It was a Genta, so... Okay. I suppose... I don't know if Charlie's really got... There's no real interaction here, right? Maybe he just doesn't have a Fiend in hand to trigger the gate. Oh, okay. He's going to Magnamute the... Mothman, which is interesting. I mean, if you Magnamute the Genta, you're just going to get him on, and then he's going to attack for game for that. That's 48. So I think Charlie just passed. So he must not have had a Fiend in hand to kind of continue his play. Anyway, move on to game 2. I will reset the life points as we go as well, so you can follow along. Charlie goes first. He opens up Gate again. Luckily, no D-shifter in Silver's hand. Activate Dark World Library. And this one is... So this is where it goes a little bit weird or wayward from here. So he activates Library's effect. And Library's effect is... Or Archives, to be exact. You can discard a Danger monster. During the main phase, discard a Dark World monster. And if you do, Dark World monsters you currently control gain attack. However, you need to control a Dark World in order to activate that effect. So from this point on, this play is pretty much null and void. So he discards a Snow. Offer the effect of Dark World Archives, which would have triggered, which he does choose to trigger his effect to search himself out in Ascension. Now, none of this is actually possible because you can't activate the Archives without having a Dark World on the board. However, For the sake of this recording, like, I can't change that. I can't interfere right now because it's a pre-recorded element. But that is something to be well and truly aware of. You cannot actually discard with no Dark World. Now, he might have a Dark World in hand, and it could very easily be fixable by normal summoning it and going from there. But it looks like he, off of the Archive, he drew 2. So he searched off the Snow the Ascension. Archive, he draws, discards 1, which is a Rainbow, and draws 2. Rainbow then searches him out a Greffa. It looks like he's activating Genta. Genta is going to search him out a second copy of the Gate specifically. So yeah, a lot of this is just not possible depending on what the rest of his hand was. Like I said, he could have very simply just normal summoned a Dark World and fixed the entire thing. So he gets to summon out the Genta. He gets to discard a Greffa, which will allow him to draw a card. He's then going to bounce back the Genta, and he's done this the wrong way around, but he's allowed to fix it, so Silver lets him fix it. You're supposed to go bounce the Genta back for the Rainbow, and then bounce the Rainbow back for the Greffa. So now he's got a Greffa on the board. We know he's got Ascension. We know he's got Genta and Rainbow in the hand. He's going to activate the Ascension. It'll be interesting to see if he's got another Greffa in the hand. We've already seen that Silver's got evenly matched, so that'll be pretty interesting to see how that resolves. Is he activating? Oh, he's activating a second Gate first. Which is right. You might as well get the maximum value out of the Greffa and everything else. It looks like he discarded a Rainbow or a Snow. Either one. They're not once per turn. So I think it's a Rainbow. Activates the Ascension. The Ascension will let him discard the Greffa that he just searched off of Rainbow. And then banish anyone or discard another Dark World. Which I believe he did discard another Dark World. So he could just discard the Genta actually. That's how he gets maximum value. He's got the Dark World or Dark Greffa, Dragon Overlord on the board as well. So now the board's looking fairly decent. He could still kind of loop some cards around. If he gets another Dark World on the board, he could bring back the Rainbow and kind of push it from there. But it looks like he's going to try and pass it at this point. You don't really want to be activating Skill Drain right now. There's no need to until you get into a Battle of the Boss Monsters. If he does have that, that is. It looks like he's got Drag Down. So he's gonna let his opponent look at his hand, but he's gonna look at his opponent's hand. Instant Contact, Unicorn, Ogre, Birth, and Evenly. Obviously, straight away he's taking that Evenly out of Silver's hand, and it looks like he's got 2 Gentas and an Archive. Woof. Obviously, in natural deck, you probably shouldn't be playing Drag Downs. You might not even be playing 2 Archives, purely because he made it with 3 structure decks. We've got Dark World Dealings. It looks like Silver drew into the Kashtria trap, and he draws into the level 7 light monster that can summon itself down when I believe your opponent adds a card from their deck to the hand, or special summons a monster, something like that. Resolve, Drag Down, both draw. It's not a Drag Down, sorry. Dark World Dealings, both draw or both discard. Looks like Silver got rid of the Ogre, which is fine because it sets up the Birth play. And kind of moves it from there. We're going to pass it. What are we going for? I'm not too sure how much he could actually have left in here. But keeps picking up the Greffa. Leave Greffa alone. Stop picking it up and down. Up and down. Leave it alone. I think it's now time to pass over to Silver. Oh my god, did he just do that? It looks like Silver just top decked evenly for turn. So after all of that, with all of Charlie trying to get rid of it, Silver just went, yeah, I don't care about you ripping out my hand. I'm just going to draw it anyway. Ha ha, ha 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 ha. This is probably going to be met by the Greffa fusion. You're really not going to want to let that resolve. It's just not well, I say not feasible. It's definitely feasible, but it's not something you want to do. So that's obviously going to get stopped straight in its tracks. But then on the flip side of that, it does then open up the door for Silver to start using his other effects. And as we know, he's got a Unicorn. It looks like he's got an Instant Contact. It looks like Charlie discarded a Silver as well. So Silver let him, made his opponent choose to hand loop himself for 2, which is really important. But he's still got the Kashtria Unicorn. He's got the Birth. And pretty much the cards that he's just sent back, all bar one of them, he's going to be able to research. Because off of the back of that, he's going to be able to... So Birth will allow him to revive the Ogre. He activates Ogre to get the trap cards, who's just looping himself back around again. Keeping in mind that all of Charlie's Fiend monsters are boosted. And DarkWorld, I believe, boosts all Fiend monsters on the field, or all DarkWorlds on the field, so it's definitely something to keep your eyes out. Goes to Big Eye. Big Eye is going to detach the Ogre, and that is going to take the Grapha Fusion. Now, what I probably would have done at this point is if I had activated Instant Contact, I could have left Unicorn on the board, and why that would have been important is Unicorn could then get the ability to look at your opponent's extra deck, and obviously he can't attack because he's got no battle phase, but it would have left the Kashtria on the board as well, so that Birth would have been live, and so would have the second effect of the Kashtria trap. So, all learning experiences and curves on this one. So, Charlie's still in a very good position because he's got the Gate and Archive combo. Like, that's an ultimate draw 3 and ditch 2, which is what you want from your DarkWorld cards because you can set up all their secondary, not secondary effects, like set up all their discard effects, which is really, really important for some of the plays that Charlie's going to want to make here. I believe he also has a Rainbow in the graveyard as well. So you're going to activate Ascension effect in the graveyard, which allows him to add it back to hand, discard a DarkWorld. Looks like he discarded a Grapha. Grapha's going to target Silver's back row. He changed the Grapha effect and then changed the trap card as Chain Link 3. So Chain Link 1 will be Grapha to pop the trap card. Chain Link 2 will be the Grapha Fusion. Discard an Instant Contact to make Grapha, or basically turn the Grapha pop effect into your opponent discards a card. And then activate the Kashtria trap. Now he's trying to chain the trap to summon back the Kashtria monster, but the trap card needs to already be face up on the field, so it's something that needs to be done in a later chain, not in the same sequence. So ultimately the pop off of Grapha didn't go anywhere, but he's still got plays to make in the graveyard. He's still got a Grapha on the board. He's banishing the Genta off of Gates and he's discarding a Rainbow. Draw one more card. He's got Rainbow Chain Link 1, he's got Archive Chain Link 2, and he's got Genta Chain Link 3. So he's going to Archive Ditch 1, draw 2. It looks like he did it the other way around. It looks like he did Archive 3, Genta 2, Rainbow 1. So Genta summons back. Rainbow will search him out his third copy of Grapha. At least I believe it's the third copy of Grapha. He's going to bounce the Silver back. Did he leave a Grapha in the graveyard? Yeah, so bounce the Silver back for Rainbow and then bounce Rainbow back for Grapha, which means he's replenished his hand advantage. Such a beautiful little combo that. I love it. And we still got Ascension in play, so he's setting 2 cards. Chances are it's going to be like a Brainwashing and a Skill Drain. Activate Ascension. What have we got here? We've got a Grapha. I don't think there's a Grapha left in the graveyard, right? So, what more could you be going for? He had a Grapha in hand. Fine. So he discards a Grapha. And I would assume banish one? Or was that a Thunderbird? It looked like he discarded a Thunderbird and a Grapha, which is completely legal because the Grapha Fusion just requires Grapha and a Dark Monster. So that gets him into another Grapha Overlord Fusion. Now, this is where it gets a little bit tenuous in a sense. So, with this, I think they both forget that Gate actually boosts both players' fields. And Silver even looks at it and reads it. I'm just going to double check myself, but I'm 99% sure it boosts both. So he's going to attack his fusion into Silver's fusion, which they should have both crashed. Yeah, all Fiend monsters gain 300. So the fusion monsters should have crashed at that point. He then attacks a buffed Grapha into the Big Eye. So he's going to be taking a hefty chunk of damage here. I mean, the only difference is that you shouldn't really have much, and it looks like Silver's just going to concede there because the advantage from that point on is just too much. I'm confused though because I'm pretty sure Silver could have used his effect to bring back Unicorn and defended one of the attacks. And then you can constantly just keep looping that around and loop around Birth. So a bit of an odd one there. I think he could have probably sustained that game state a little bit longer and been able to push through. But anyway, we're going to be moving on to that all-important game 3. So we're now going to see which one is going to come out on top. So very interestingly, Silver lets Charlie go first with DarkWorld Dangers, and we activate DarkWorld Dealings. Both players are going to draw and discard. Silver's hand's pretty, well, I say it's pretty good. It's okay. He's got 2 of the Heavenly Dragons, he's got 2 DD Crows, and then he's got a Birth and a Psy Beast, I believe it was. So Charlie discards a DarkWorld. I believe it was DarkWorld anyway. Yeah, so I think it was DarkWorld Snow if I remember correctly. So he's going to be searching out a Dark World card, and we'll see what that is. Now, usually I would go for, like, if you've not got anything else, I would go for Genta. I don't know if the reason he went for Gate, but maybe we'll soon find out. Maybe he opened up all 3 Gentas, which would suck ass. It looks like he discarded a Genta to draw 1, banishing the snow. Oh, it was a silver. Okay, so silver gets summoned back. So that gives him a 2400 boss monster on the board and sets 1. Oof. Ooh. Oh, he's going for drag down. What we've got? Oh, Neko Main King and Neko Main King and Mothman. That's interesting. Okay, I'm surprised that he discarded the snow for the. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't have had another fiend to discard. I suppose that would have been the issue. If you went for the Genta, you would activate Genta to get a second gate, but then you wouldn't have anywhere to go because you'd have no other fiend to discard. So sad. Anyway, 2 DD Crows. He's going to activate, or he's discarding a DD Crow off the back of Drag Down into the Grave. And Charlie knows all of his hand bar 1 card, which I believe is Instant Contact. Charlie's going to ditch what I believe is Ascension. This is interesting though, because he hasn't got the Greffer, so without the Greffer you're not really going anywhere. Sad that you're going to have to just sit on a silver and kind of pass. This is the weakness of just 3 structure decks without adding a little bit more to keep it going, or a bit more power, a bit more oomph. Plus the fact he hasn't really seen any of his dangers. He hasn't seen Yesuke with the 1 Sukanoko. We've only seen 1 Thunderbird, and even that was discarded for a fusion play. We haven't seen a Bigfoot or anything like that. So he's going to try to activate the Ascension effect to discard a Dark World. So he must have, maybe he's just drawn a Dark World off of the back of that. So that's going to get DD Crowed. So woof, that's goodbye on that one. And now we've still got Instant Contact, Birth, and the Heavenly Dragon. So that's still a rank 7 for Silver, and that can ultimately lead to Zeus to control a board state. But we'll see how far either of them can push. And he draws his 3rd Heavenly Dragon. Woof. Activate Birth, gives him a normal summon of a level 7. And now ultimately he's just got to decide whether he wants to play that Instant Contact or not. Personally, I would. I see no reason not to. It gives you that extender on the board that will allow you to unlock your rank 7 plays. The issue is he's got no Kashtira, so he hasn't been able to find or dig for a Kashtira in order to kind of get him a little bit further up. So we're going to activate the Instant Contact. Silver is going to pay 1,000 life points, and that is going to take his Kashtira total down to 7,000 life points, but it will give him a nice elemental hero that will allow him to make a rank 7 play. Now when he's only facing 1 set card, which is chances are it's either Brainwashing or Skill Drain, it will allow him to still make a rank 7. The biggest issue is the strongest rank 7 that the deck can make is 2,800, I believe anyway. So unless you're going to go Zeus and then you get 3k, but still. In this match, it would be very funny to have a Fiend rank 7. It is Skill Drain, so Charlie is going to join Silver on that one and pay 1,000 life points. So at least they're even on LP at the moment. I believe the XYZ is currently 100 stronger than Silver, so it's going to attack that. I suppose it gets very confusing because Charlie has a monster called Silver on the board and the player is called Silver, or his opponent is called Silver. Anyway, so Charlie is going to take 100 life points on that one, I believe. Hello, 6,900. Yes, I am immature. Is it 60? Yeah, because Silver is 20... I swear Silver's 24. Is he 23? Just trying to remember what his stats. He's 23. Oh, that's sad. So it means it's actually 2,800, not 2,900. Can we just call it 2,900, 6,900 for this one? Anyway. So carrying on, he's got the gates active. Looks like we're going for another drag down. He's still got that. Gets to look at Silver's 1 and only card, right? Yeah. Oh, he's got Terraforming and Neko Main King. Woof. Who wants Neko Main King in the hand like that with no fusion? Personally, I would get rid of the Terraforming. Like, the Neko Main King is not doing anything to him or helping him out at all. It's probably bricking him, if anything. So, at least the Terraforming I know is going to get into another field spell. Anyway, so he draws off of the Dark World Dealing. Not Dark World Dealings. I keep getting mixed up. Drag down to the grave. Activate Terraforming. The irony is he's added Terraforming to this deck, but he hasn't added anything else. Shame on you. Might as well have just played the 3rd gate. Jeez. So it gets his second copy of the Gate. Going to use Gate's effect to banish the Genta from the graveyard and discard another Genta. And that's going to allow him to revive a Genta from the graveyard. And he's going to, rightfully so, put it into defense. Otherwise you would get smacked to the face. So see it go from there. Let's see how this evolves. So, I mean, you're facing down a skill drain. And you're not, like, the idea of a skill drain DarkWorld deck is that you need to get your stronger monster on the board. The issue is you're facing Kashtrias, which can pump out very strong monsters. So off of birth, he's going to normal summon Ogre for pretty much free. Ogre is the strongest Kashtria you could possibly have. And then he's going to activate the Byseal Magnamoots effect, targeting the Mothman in the graveyard, because you'd be very silly to target the Genta, because then he would just get, Charlie would then just get another defender on the board. Bring down Magnamoot. It's definitely strong enough to deal with a 2100 defender of Genta. Keep in mind that it gains defense as well. So Magnamoot kills that, and then you're going for 28 and 28, I believe. So that is 56 in total, leaving Charlie on 200 life points. Or, no, sorry, 1000 life points, 1200 life points. There we go. Maths. Good. Let's go. I believe that's right. I believe they're both 28. So it's 56 damage. Okay, so we're going for a DarkWorld, Gates, banish the Genta, ditch a Rainbow. I mean, Rainbow's going to get his effect off, which is nice. And he'll get the Genta back, which means you can also bump it back for a Rainbow. So I'm not sure. They're just trying to figure out what gets banished face down. Huh? Why did those three... What? I'm confused. Why did they get banished face down? Oh, it's because he activated a spell card. He activates the... oh, lol, that is painful. So because he activated a spell card, Silver chains Birth, and Birth lets him target 3 cards in the graveyard and banish them face down. He could also trigger the Darkest Diablos and banish cards from the top of Charlie's deck face down as well. That is savagery. Is Birth spell card and effect? Kashtria Birth. Birth. Is it? I believe it is. I think if I remember rightly it is. Lol, spell card or effect. God, get dunked on. And he's just going to normal summon an Ogre. We're going Ogre beatdown, people. Ogre beatdown. I don't see how Charlie wins this. Yeah, Magnum attack and then 2 attacks from Ogres, and is the only brainwashing. Anyway, I know this was a little bit sketchy in the middle. These are all learning curves for these. This is just local fun. Nothing too serious. As long as the players can watch this back and go, right, okay, that's where I misplayed. That's where I can get better. It's helpful for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and happy dueling.